Well, missed day 2. So I guess today's video is really about sticking to things you said you were going to do. And just because I didn't do day 2 doesn't mean I can't do day 3. I was like panicking yesterday, being like, oh, it's too late, what am I gonna do? I haven't made my stupid YouTube video. I was like remembering to do it yesterday afternoon when I was in the library. I was like, oh, I should record like a whisper video where I just like am in the library, be like, I'm in the library. But at the end, I'm here this morning, the third day, and you know, hopefully we can get things going. Maybe I'll still make 31 videos this whole month. Maybe I'll keep doing this forever and ever and ever, and so it won't matter that I missed a day or something. Maybe today will be the last time I do this. Maybe this will never even get uploaded. Maybe I'll disappear in this. I don't know. So, I'm just enjoying some legal recreational cannabis product in a fine park around sunrise. You know, it makes me think about like the things they say about weed, because you know, there's in a city like Montreal, for example, I think there's 3 legal weed stores in the whole city, the Quebec Cannabis Society outlets. These places open at 9 a.m. and you have to get there at 8 to be in the front of the line. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, I thought stoners were lazy, you know, sluggish, stupid, unconcerned, all that stuff, but if they're so lazy, like, what are they doing up at 8 in the morning on a weekend? It lied. Seems like they kind of got their shit together. And I'm a bit of a morning person, so I could identify with that. I kind of like starting smoking in the morning sometimes. It's nice, there's fresh air, the sun's out. You just kind of calm down and kind of breathe your way into the day, which is nice. And now it's like we're smoking together. Maybe I could become one of those like smoke a joint with me on YouTube people. I don't know. Whew, but when it comes to weed, I do believe that there is a strain for everybody. I think that different weeds do different things for different people. But I personally a Kush guy. You know, I remember when I was like in high school and I'd like kind of first started doing this, I would think to myself, like, when I smoke weed I get like so anxious. I don't even know, I can't even like survive. And yet I can't survive without it. It was this weird like parallel. I needed it to like cope with reality, and yet it made reality impossible to cope with. And it wasn't until recreational dispensaries started coming to Toronto and I could actually try and experiment with different strains and styles and actually realize that there was something different on offer there. I realized, oh, there's actually a perfect weed for me. At the time it was things like Pink Kush, MK Ultra. I'm an indica person. It kind of chills me out, and it's weird because if I get anything even slightly off, like what I'm supposed to get, it can still give me that heightened, buzzy sense of displacement, that who am I, where am I kind of feeling, you know what I mean? So I'm still, you know, looking for that right weed again, because it's a seasonal product. It comes and it goes. You gotta wait for the good stuff to come back. There's a few right now that are in my life that I like. I think what I like really is earthy flavors, skunky flavors, piney, foresty flavors, just fresh and explosive. Ow. That kind of stuff. And I am also still smoking cigarettes right now, even though I don't know how long I'm going to be doing that for. I've been, bug. I've been using Canadian natural tobacco, which is I guess a brand. It's hard to say with tobacco. It's like they call themselves brands, but they're just packages, right? Who knows what's in there, where it's coming from. But Canadian natural tobacco is actually grown, on the shores of Lake Erie in like traditional home of the Canadian tobacco industry, Tillsonburg and all that. And this stuff is like organic and additive free. It comes in this little glass jar. I roll it up myself. I'm like, it's funny, that does make me feel better about it, even though the jar specifically says organic and additive free cigarette does not mean a safer cigarette. We can't really be true, except in the sense that like nothing is truly safe or unsafe. So everything just kind of is what it is. There's always sort of natural risks packed in. And I think a lot about smoking because, like, for example, I usually don't take my phone out for me when I smoke. I work doing a lot of administrative work generally, so like a lot of computer stuff. And I'll try and work for, a nice good 2-hour chunk and then go have a cigarette. And when I do that, I try not to bring my phone or anything, and I try to just sit down somewhere nice, smoke, and just kind of let it all go. And in that way, I think the reason like smoking became so popular for people outside of its addictive qualities is it was like the only time people let themselves get a freaking breath of fresh air. And maybe that's not true because people used to just smoke inside and smoke wherever, but like sometimes in a funny way the act of going for a cigarette can be the healthiest thing you do in a day, like standing up, getting out of your seat, going outside, changing position, changing perspective. And I'm not denying that it's garbage and it's horrible for you, but nothing's really perfectly safe and nothing's perfectly dangerous. Everything just kind of exists in these balances in relationships. And like at certain points I've gotten something out of smoking. I don't like to think of myself as addicted to cigarettes, but there have definitely been times in my life where I've been dependent on them. And with all that stuff, it's more about kind of checking your relationships, you know what I mean? Like, any time that tells me they're thinking about quitting smoking or quitting weed, I tell them, hey, like, make yourself a journal every time you have a cigarette. You don't even have to make it a real live journal. You could do it in your phone. But you can just do it in your head, too. You don't even have to write it down or remember. You can just check in and be like, I want a cigarette, or I want to get high. You like think that kind of thing to yourself, and then you think like, like why? And you try and look for the reasons. Like, is it because it's just that time of day? Is it because something stressful's happening? Is it because you have to do something later? Is it because it's your day off? Is it because you're about to have a bath and you like to be high in the bath? Is it because you just ate a big meal and you like to smoke a cigarette? And then smoke it and be aware that you're doing it. Yield to the temptation to do it. Especially when you're trying to quit. When you're trying to quit, I think the first thing to do is to yield. Like, every time I've quit smoking, I'd like started smoking a lot first. Like, I got to like a point where I was like, ugh. Now, when you start really thinking about them, if they're not good for you, they're dumb. Because you realize a lot after you finish having a cigarette, like, ugh, I'm dehydrated, I'm woozy, I'm nauseous, all these kind of things. You're like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? it's funny because there is maybe one cigarette a day or one cigarette a week or whatever that feels truly great, that like reminds you why you do it. But like, maybe that's the only cigarette you ever needed. You know what I mean? Like, and we're not told that it's possible to just use tobacco like once or twice a week, but like people do it. They're out there. Just saying. For them, is cigarettes about gut healthy? I was told this story about, I guess, my great grandmother. I don't know. Some ancient person in my family who's not with us anymore, and she quit smoking in her late 80s or something like that. But everyone said, "How did you do it?" She just quit cold turkey. And her answer was, "I never inhaled," which I think is funny. But like, I don't even believe her. It's just like, you can put these things down if you want to. You can do literally anything you want to. And you can keep smoking if you want to too. That's what's kind of cool about life. Um, it does shut certain things off for you, but in terms of your actual fitness, but you know, you've got to make a whole balance. Something I'm going to be talking about is like diet and nutrition over the next few days, and that's something I'm really excited to get into with you guys. And I'm hoping people are watching and people are seeing these out here, like, you know, say hi in the comments or whatever. I'll be around, and see you guys tomorrow.